Hi, I'm your host, Caitlin May, and welcome to My Friends Are Haunted, the podcast where ghost stories are normal and haunted houses are basically a childhood hobby. And something weird is always happening. I grew up in more than a few haunted places, and now I'm coming to share my personal experiences along with stories from listeners, friends, and family who have all had their own run-ins with the unexplained. Some stories are creepy, and some are funny. And some might make you question reality just a little bit. We've got ghosts and shadow figures, aliens, cryptids, and everything that keeps you up at night. So grab your headphones, lock your doors, and remember, it's not always just your imagination. Welcome to My Friends Are Haunted. Hi, everyone, and welcome to My Friends Are Haunted. I'm your host, Caitlin May, and today I am joined by my friend, Stacy, who is amazing, but also I just have to give a little background. So she's an amazing singer. She is a writer, and this is not on her bio description, but every time I tell Mike I'm going to one of Stacy's shows, he's like, oh, is she having a comedy show? So she's not a comedian officially.
I used to be.
Okay, well, so she is.
So it's so weird to have someone give an intro for you. Like the amount of times people have done intros about me in front of me, it's happened, and every time it's so weird. But when it's one of your besties, it's even weirder, but in a more fun way.
You're like,
keep going.
I swear I am a comedian. She is.
Yeah, I used to be.
I mean, she has written a comedy. Well, dramedy show, but like she is hysterical. So I think that this is going to be one of those shows where we've got some funny for sure.
Yeah.
There's definitely spooky. So when I asked Stacy, I said, so you want to come on the podcast? Like, do you have any stories? If not, I can research something you're into. I would love to have you on. And this is what she said. She goes, well, I have a sad ghost story of a museum train car. And then I have theater ghost. Oh, and then I also have this story about a Switzerland prison that turned into a hotel. And I was like...
And I told you at dinner, I was like, and that is the ghost story that made me afraid of ghosts.
Afraid of ghosts.
Afraid of ghosts.
So I'm like, I went from thinking she might have a story, she's never mentioned one, to, oh, by the way, I stayed in a haunted hotel that used to be a prison. And I was like,
a women's prison.
And now I'm like, you have to come on and tell us all of these stories.
Yeah.
But more so, I will start by saying, okay, so she's a great friend. We met about 3 years ago at our Lord and Savior Equinox.
I love that you say I'm the comedian, but that is truly the funniest thing. It's diabolical.
We spend more money at Equinox than probably any other bill other than rent, I would assume.
Yeah.
But
Los Angeles is expensive, you guys.
Look, I just need somebody to tell me what to do. That is my thing with Equinox. I'm willing to pay for it because I need somebody to tell me what to do.
I'm glad you finished the end of that sentence. Like, I should need someone to tell me what to do. I was literally, when the Equinox bill went up again, I was like, God, I love being a self-made woman. There's nothing better. But I would love, not a sugar daddy, but like a Splenda best friend who's like, hey, how's your day? Here's $20,000. Have a great day. And you know what I mean? So if you're out there,
I want one too.
Right? I'll be a Splenda sister with you.
Yeah, you could just pay for both of we'll do like a family plan. Can you do that?
Help me, I'm poor.
Yeah. So that's actually how we met. And it was one of those things.
World problems.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those things where we were both like, can't complain. We have,
I know.
Yeah.
With our eucalyptus towels. I know this is a ghost story podcast, but when Shayla, who is the reason became an Equinox member, when she gave me her first guest pass and she gave me one of the cold towels, I was like, why does it smell like Vicks Vapor?
Because they know that that's eucalyptus. Yeah, that's how you know we're in a different tier bracket. We're like, oh, it smells like Vicks. They're like, that's eucalyptus.
And also, that was my first, listen, I started college when I was 16, you guys. And it wasn't until that moment, I was that today years old, when I realized that eucalyptus
Was Vicks Vapor. I mean,
I was like, oh, same, but different.
yeah. It's like it's the knockoff version. One's herbal, one's medication.
One went study abroad in college in Provence, and the other went to IDT Tech.
That is absolutely accurate. So funny. So I was like, okay, well, first of all, if you're going to tell me all these crazy stories, I want to start with a sad one. And I know I hate to be like the person who's like, let's start sad.
Listen.
But I think I would prefer getting into like the sadder side of your story.
Okay.
Because I feel like this prison story is what I want to end on.
It's gonna scare the tits off of you. I'm just
can't
telling you.
wait.
I'm telling you now.
I can't wait.
21-year-old me.
Also, you guys, so like I said, I've known her for 3 years, and I do kind of lead with my paranormal love pretty early on in relationships.
Yeah.
But I specifically told her I had been wanting to start this podcast. And when I asked you about paranormal, you're like, oh, yeah, I have stuff. And I said immediately, I'm like, hand and face, don't tell me, save it.
Yeah.
So I actually don't know these, which I think this is the first time where I might not have to like really read. I did do some research on this hotel prison that she
still
stayed
exists,
at.
right?
It does still exist, you crazy person who stayed there.
Well, I don't know. Like, times are tough since the pandemic. I call the pandemic the pandemic Lovato.
The pandemic Lovato. It does still exist.
Don't stay there, you guys.
I don't know. Some people on Reddit are like, it's pretty nice. It's like, so.
I mean, it was 2007, but I like, that's the little amuse-bouche you'll get for the story.
Yeah, okay. We're not going to go there yet.
Yeah.
But I want to start with, okay, back to the sad. I'm sorry. We're going to go down a notch. We're super fun. But for the moment, we're going to get a little serious because she has a sad story about a museum. So I believe it was at the Holocaust Museum here in LA.
No, it was it was the.
See, this is as little as I know.
I was 16 years old.
Okay.
It was the Holocaust Museum in Washington D.C.
Okay.
And
because you were visiting, or
I was, yeah. So I went with my. This is such a Jew-tastic sentence. I was with my Temple youth group.
That's cute. I used to go to youth group too, but like Christian.
And we went to youth group, and so we did this like volunteer trip, and so we spent the day. Well, not the day, but we like did a morning, like we were in and out of Washington D.C. doing all of this like volunteer work and activism and all this stuff, and then they were like, "Oh, we're gonna go to the Holocaust Museum." And in the National Holocaust Museum, and they might still have it there, I don't know, because I was 16 years old, and that was so long ago.
10 years.
Just listen, aesthetically, I always strive to look like I'm 28.
And you do.
Thank you. So in that exhibit, and I have actually, fun fact about me, this is the sad fun fact, I have been to all the Holocaust museums internationally.
That's an really interesting fact.
Yeah. And so they're all designed, like they're all different. Like the one in Israel is literally designed where you can't like race through it. And then DC is pretty similar, but like different. And so there was one exhibit where they had a train car from one of the train cars that they would bring people to the concentration camps in. And I've always had a deep woo streak. I've always like I think that was one of the first things you and I ever connected about was like woo and magic and tarot and like all that fun stuff. And so I always knew there was more, but like I had never really had this kind of, it was like my first real experience with paranormal. Oh, hey, Indy.
Everybody, if you're watching on camera, Indy's been running around. I apologize.
Oh my God, she's going to be my best friend by the end of this taping.
I hope she is.
I really hope so.
We should have brought treats and put them in your pockets.
Oh my God, I swear. I want to be a living cat treat. Anyway, so part of the exhibit was that you had to walk through this car to get to the next thing. And there was like a side option where if you couldn't, like you could go around the car, but it was like,
can I ask a question?
No, it's your podcast. You can't ask any questions.
I raised my hand.
You raised your hand.
I do have a question.
The girl with the cute glasses in the front.
Thank you. I've only been to the Holocaust Museum in LA, and
Which one? The Museum of Tolerance or LA Moth?
It was the Museum of Tolerance.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, there's two.
Oh, I actually did not know. I should take me to the next.
We'll sidebar.
Take me to the next one.
I got you.
But I did go to the Museum of Tolerance, and I remember when I went there, they kind of gave you like the passport card where you get assigned a person
Yeah.
and you look kind of like live. Did you have
We-
that? Is that what they did there?
I don't think so. I think it was like we had
More
like
of
we had like the audio like
Okay.
guided tours,
Mhm.
and so like we were left to kind of go on our own. Like our group leader was like, "Okay, you have 2.5 hours. We're meeting back here at like 3 o'clock."
Okay.
So I was with two classmates, and they like scampered off ahead of me, and I walk through this train car, and all of a sudden I immediately, and mind you, it was like on a Wednesday. Like it wasn't like peak museum time. There weren't a lot of people in this area. Like I was by
Mhm.
myself. So that's very important detail.
Okay.
I walk into this train car, and my plan is to walk through the train car to go through the next exhibit, because as I'm walking up to the train car, I start to sweat. Like I'm starting to feel uncomfortable, and I'm like,
Ooh.
oh, like I'm very much aware that this is a piece of horrific history,
Right.
and it's hitting me all at once, and I'm, it's making me emotional. And so I walk through the train car, and all of a sudden it's like a lightning bolt. I jolt still. I'm in the middle of this car, and I immediately feel the bodies pressed up against me. Even as I'm telling this, I'm
no.
like, I have like chills down my spine.
Oh my God.
So I feel like I can't breathe.
Like you feel like people coming up.
I literally, like,
Oh,
when you've
no.
been in like a concert hall or something, and like you're
Yeah.
like sardines.
Claustrophobic.
And I'm not a claustrophobic person. Never have been.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why, but it's never been a thing for me. Immediately, I felt so claustrophobic.
Oh.
It smelt horrible.
Oh God.
Like it smelled like BO and piss, and like it just,
Oh my
it was,
gosh.
the like up, like stench up the nose, and I couldn't hear anything. And it was like, all I did was like freeze, and I was like this terrified feeling. And it wasn't until another classmate of mine was like, "Hey, Stacy," and like pushed me, like thinking I was just like having a laugh or something, and they were like, "Hey, come on," and I
It
was
like snapped you out
and
of
it
it.
snapped me out of it, and I had to sit down. I was shaking, and she was like, "Oh my God, what's wrong?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what this is." And I laughed it off, because I'm like, who wants to be the 16-year-old from a small town in Washington being like, "I think I just had a ghost experience," because people, listen,
Yeah,
this was also before YouTube, and when I was singing and stuff, people were like,
Right.
"It's weird that you sing for things." So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like tell
Nobody
these-
understands.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell Shoshana that I had like a ghost
Yeah,
story. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, screw her. So there's always a Shosh, you know what I mean?
I'm like, I don't know who she is, but I don't like her.
Right. No one does yet. I mean, that's a podcast for another time. So, but it shook me to the point where it stayed with me for the rest of the day, the rest of the trip, and it just shook it off. And it was always this really weird experience, because I was like, what was that? Did I make that up? Did I
No.
what is this? And it like affected the rest of the way that I was in that museum, and I was just
It made you like more
crying the whole time.
like you were a little bit more aware and embraced, I guess, probably.
Yeah, like it really it felt immersive, but I think the thing that really shook me about all of it was that it was such a shock, and I had no control over it. Like
You weren't expecting for something so
no.
physical to.
I was expecting to walk into that train car and like walk through it. Like I was expecting to walk through it to go to the next part of the exhibit, and just like hold space and respect for this terrible loss of life, and this terrible crime to humanity, and like go about the trip. Like I wasn't,
Was the train car inside of a museum hall, or was it like an outdoor space?
no, it was inside. So it was like, so imagine, so like, let's say you and I, like, we're sitting down in our chairs right now, and the train car is like where the camera and like your office
like, in
area
front
is
of
right in
us.
front. And so
Yeah.
in order to get from here to like where your office desk
You have
is,
to walk
you'd
through.
have to walk through. Like there was really no way. And it was kind of like an ADA compliance thing, because it was all ramps.
Right.
So the only way that you could, if you didn't want to go through the car, they had this like narrow stair path down, like 3 or 4 steps. Like it was, but it was like they purposely built this part of the museum, from what I remember. Like you had to go through it. Like it was one of those things. Because I think, if I'm designing a museum, and if I'm designing a museum about something so horrific, it's like, yeah, I don't want you to be removed from this. So I understand why they did it.
Yeah, you
and
have
I
to like
also
make them
felt-
feel like they're there. You need to. It's that immersive, but it's also like you're using a real car where people actually were
Correct.
compiled
like
and put. That memory is real.
Yeah. And I'm like, there's that book, The Body Keeps the Score. I definitely think in terms of ghosts and spirits and whatever's in the other side, there's imprints on things,
Totally.
especially like whether good or bad, right? Like it's just energy. So I think something as traumatic as that, like who knows how many thousands, if not millions of people were transported in that very car. Who knows?
Totally.
But like when I tell you, I was alone in that car and I felt like I was being buried alive by people.
Oh my God.
Like, I don't like to be like, I'm a touchy feely person, but I don't like to be like
Yeah.
that to me is like, I'm not claustrophobic, but like, but yeah, that was
Did
my
you
first
feel like
story.
you physically felt people touching you, or was it the sensation of being claustrophobic?
No, I felt like people were touching me. Like, it
Ugh.
was like I could feel like bodies pressed into me. And to me, it wasn't even that as much. The temperature changed too.
And the smell.
The smell.
That
like,
would get me.
It was the most fragrant BO.
Oh my God.
Like,
and it went like after the person came and found you there, was it gone?
and it was gone. Like I had like been dumped with cold water.
Oh my gosh.
And he was just like on the ground. She's like, I am fascinated with this story.
She's very fascinated with this story.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Right.
That's crazy that like you had scent, you had physical touch,
I had a temperature shift.
and temperature shift all within the same. I mean, the only thing
and
you
the
literally
and the hearing too.
Oh.
Like it was like everything got muffled.
Oh.
I couldn't hear it. Like it was okay, this is I'm gonna be fumbly with how I describe it, but like after you go to a concert and it's really loud and you should be wearing earplugs, by the way, when you go to a concert.
Yeah, 100%.
But like when you like go to a loud event and then like your ears are kind of ringing after.
Yeah.
That's what happened. So keep in mind, I'm in this train car alone. There's no one really in my vicinity, and it's not a loud museum. It is a quiet, somber place, obviously.
Right.
It's not like they're, all of the sounds are very purposeful. And it was like the sound hollowed out. Then all of those things happened. Like it was like,
oh my God.
yeah.
I feel like I could picture it like in a show, like where it's like, whoa, and everything calms down, and then it's like, whoa,
right. And I walked out. And by the way, it was January in DC.
Freezing.
Drenched in sweat. I walked out of that train car drenched in sweat. And I'm a sweaty bitch, but not that sweat. I was in like there was no practical physical reason for me to have the responses I had in that train car and to like literally have damp hair. Like my hair like fell limp.
And might I add that like you said this was a sad story, which it clearly is.
Right.
But it's also extremely intense and terrifying. And
it was, oh yeah. And that, what's so funny is that like, cause I told you, I was like, the Switzerland one is the one that scared me.
I know. Well,
silly,
now I'm sitting here thinking like, you said that you got so scared that it made you believe in ghosts. How did you not believe in ghosts after this?
No, I did believe in ghosts after this.
Oh,
and I believed
like,
in ghosts before this. The Switzerland one though, was the one that made me afraid of ghosts.
Oh,
like
got it.
For me, I felt like, I don't know, in some weird way, I felt like that first train, like I think whatever ghosts and whatever spirits were still attached to that vessel could sense that I was this empathetic, like I was walking towards it and I knew what I was looking at 50 feet away.
Right.
And it hit me like before I walked over to it, I kind of paused.
It's like they saw you coming.
They saw me coming and they knew they were like, this chick's going to get it.
Oh.
Not like this chick's going to get it. It's like,
but
no,
like,
we need to share
We're going to share this because we want you to remember and really experience what we experienced so you can remember it forever, and it's never going to die in history books when they take it out because it's terrible.
And in Judaism, like they say this thing that's like never forget, and it's about the Holocaust. And so I think they just saw me as this spirit, as this person who would hold space for that, and they were like, yeah, we know she's 16, but like,
hey, that's a impressionable age for you to remember,
And it stayed with me. But no, it didn't make me scared of ghosts, but it definitely deepened my belief in them. Like I already
Wow.
believed in ghosts. I kind of had this like hopeful belief. I'm like, maybe there's ghosts. And as a theater kid, like I had I had heard theater ghost stories all the time and like ghost
Yeah.
lights on stage and that kind of thing. But like I hadn't really experienced it yet. And then that happened in college and I was like, oh
So your first experience was when you were about 16,
yeah.
and the next couple were within the same about time. So,
Yeah, the second one was when I was 18.
and then the next one after college, so like 21ish,
20. Yeah, it was right after I graduated college. I was
Interesting.
21.
See, I feel like I will say that I also believe that like you know, coming of age, puberty, all that stuff really has a lot to do with
a late bloomer.
yeah. Same. Same. But I do think that like that has a lot to do with it. And I will say my most experiences, of course, were between the ages of 13 to I'd say about 22 is
Oh.
when I had the most experiences. So
Before your prefrontal cortex was fully formed.
before I could just turn it off in my brain and be like, yeah, no, thank you.
When I was 12 years old, I
Ooh.
had a spell where not like a spell, but like I had a period of time.
Oh, I was like, wait, you put a spell on somebody when you're 12?
No. But I was able to channel like dead people that had like crossed over, and I was able to like
This is the kind
on
of
a
thing
tramp
when
on a trampoline with my childhood friend Brent. I was like, "Did your grandma have a purple necklace?" Like,
okay, I'm sorry. This is the kind of thing when I talk to my friends and I say like, do you have any paranormal experiences? And they start off with like, well, I had like one small thing happen. And the next thing I know, they're staying in a haunted prison in Switzerland and they can channel spirit when they're 12.
right. And then my parents actually saw like a psychic medium or whatever, and no, to add like they had other questions in their life that they needed like woo woo advice on, which I love that's like my family just takes eggs from all the baskets, and and they asked this woman apparently. They were like, does our daughter actually have this gift? And she goes, yeah, she does. But she's not connecting with the actual person. She's getting like an imprint of them.
Hmm.
Like I would literally like sit and channel and go, did your grandma, like I'd pick up like be like, did your grandma like butterflies?
Like random things.
Just random things being like, did she wear a perfume that smelled like this? Like, and I haven't been able to do it since.
You know it's that age. And I think that
Yeah.
it's like if you don't hone
I
it
think
in.
it used to be that age. I don't think
Yeah.
it's this way anymore because kids are so addicted to their phones.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, not to cut you off.
No,
but
no, it's true though. I think that, I think that it's more to do with you're less on a screen. You're
yeah, touch earth.
I will say I've
Touch
actually
the grass.
speaking of like less on your phone, this is fresh. Okay, it's not like I'm a changed woman, but I've been trying to I've been trying to write on pen to paper
Yeah.
instead of like being on my phone towards the end of the night because I read a study about sadly like dementia and Alzheimer's and stuff.
Yeah.
And they say that like one of the best ways to train your brain from a young age is to start writing pen to paper, not texting, not on your
Right.
phone. So it's something I just kind of started doing. And I will say I've always been a lucid dreamer with really vivid dreams. But ever since I started like writing in my notebook instead of being on my phone at the end of the night, I'll sit there and I'll just write poems or whatever comes to mind. Even if it's just what I did during the day, I'll just write it out. And then instead of looking at my phone when I go to bed, I just write pen to paper and I go to bed. And I've been having the most vivid dreams.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's also really good for your general health too, because my nutritionist has me doing whatchamacallit, like 30 minutes before bed, like to help with my circadian rhythm.
Oh, see?
Because it helps you with your sleep patterns and stuff. So that's
What is this? Okay, so you said a word I don't even know.
circadian rhythm. Like, there's all these studies that have come out where if you're on your phone too much, like the blue light messes with you.
Uh-huh.
And so it tells your body not to rest. So like even at my place, I have these lights that change tone depending on the time of day so that the light shifts and that my eyes and my body literally adjust to it.
Oh,
So
interesting.
you're doing stuff not just for Alzheimer's and dementia, but you're also
doing stuff for my sleep.
correct.
I will say honestly, I mean,
How does it feel? Where's your cape?
well,
Zero.
I'm a week in. Ask me in like 3 months, like, Caitlin, are you still doing that thing you said you were doing? But I will say, even like a dream journal, and like I said, I'm a pretty lucid dreamer. I've always had very vivid dreams, but doing this, I think, has helped me fall asleep faster and have more pleasant dreams, which is crazy because I think that, as somebody who has super lucid dreaming, when, it's scary, it gets pretty freaking scary. And
Yeah.
then you wake up and you're like, well, I pretty much fought the entire world all night, so I didn't get any rest. Okay, so you said that you had a story about theater ghosts.
I did. Yes,
Now,
I do.
let me have it.
I have two minor theater ghost stories. One was when I was 14, and it was at Youth Theater Northwest in Mercer Island in Washington. And the theater used to be attached to this like old defunct middle school. So there was like this creepy like boys locker room, like shower gymnasium or whatever.
What? Like part of the part of the theater?
Like it was like part of the like where the dressing rooms were, and it
Wait,
always
the
gave
the female dressing rooms were where what used to be like male
like
locker
a male
rooms?
locker rooms. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, like it's kids, it's fine. And that was the only place we were allowed to go to the bathroom during the show.
Oh,
So I, having IBS,
classic IBS.
classic IBS case. I never went in there because every time I went in there, like I didn't experience any ghost stuff, but like every time I went in there, all the hair on my arms would stand up. And I was like, no, I was younger than that. I was like 8 or 9 years old. I was a kid. I'm
Ooh.
like, yes. And so that was like my first being like, oh, some places are not safe. Like, not because anything bad will happen to me, but I was like, it smelled like mildew. I was like, something bad happened here. Like I knew on an intrinsic level. Yeah. So yeah, because I did Youth Theater Northwest from the time I was 7 to the time I was 14. So
wow.
Yeah, I was like 8 or 9 years old. And then the one where I had an interaction with a ghost. So like for those of you that are not theater kids and actually were popular in high school,
there's always ghosts in a theater.
There's always ghosts in a theater. So they always have, when all the lights are off in a theater, they have what's called a ghost light, which is a singular light that's on a stand on the stage, and it's always on. And there's some kind of history. You'd have to like research. I'm such a bad former theater kid. I know there's a whole history behind it because I think like someone died.
Named. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
she was like really excited thinking I knew the history.
I really
did
know
not.
because it is actually, it has to do with that because like I think someone died in a theater once. It was in England.
I wouldn't be surprised. Or it probably like I don't know. They used to have like fires in theaters all the time. That was very common.
So I went to Bellevue Community College. And
that's in Washington.
In Washington. And so I started college when I was in high school, which is why I have so much social anxiety. And so I was
doing
17.
Great, kid.
Thank you. I was 17 and with all these like college kids. And I was doing a musical, like they had a black box theater and they had a proscenium theater. And so, but the dressing rooms are in the back of the proscenium theater. And so there were these really long, like corridor hallways behind the audience, like behind the stage, and like cement walls, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was the last one out of the dressing rooms, and everyone was in the black box theater that was like all the way across
on the other side.
So I all of a sudden realized that I was alone in this gargantuan space. And I started to feel uneasy about it because I was like, if some like being a woman, I was like,
if a man is anywhere near me,
if a man is anywhere near me, I'm gonna get attacked.
Yeah.
And so I'm like hightailing it and trying to get out of there, and all of a sudden I felt like someone was watching me. Oh my god! Even as I say it, like, oh my god, I haven't told this story in such a long time.
Oh,
like,
chills down her neck.
Chills. So I'm like getting my backpack, I'm getting my like duffel bag or whatever, and I can like, that feeling when someone is watching you.
Yeah. You feel them.
You feel it. And I was like, and I'm looking around and I heard like a chair screech from like down the hall or something, like something moving. I was like, hello? And I didn't hear anything. And then I heard footsteps and I was like, okay, guys, I'm coming. Like thinking that I was going to get murdered.
Yeah.
And I like, even as I'm saying this, I'm like getting like chills up my body. This is like, making me so uncomfortable. And then, so I'm like walking, I'm like speed mall walking.
Speed mall walking,
right? Because I'm like, shopping is my cardio, or it used to be. No, I actually go to the gym. So I'm like walking, like hightailing it, and all of a sudden, like from behind me, I hear, like a giggle, like a little kid girl giggle.
No,
and I turn around and there's nothing there, and I was like,
wait, can I do it?
Oh God. Literally, it was this little kid like, and
I'm coming to get you, Stacy.
Oh God. Okay, well, thank you. I'm gonna dream journal about that tonight, and then I'm gonna text you at 3 a.m. and be like, you bitch. No, and again, all the hair on my neck went like stick straight up. I had goosebumps all over my arms, and I was like run. Like
just all
and I
instincts run.
booked it.
Ugh.
And I never would go into that theater alone again. I was like, fuck this. And I never did.
I mean, look, when something scares you that bad, you just don't want to go back.
No.
You know?
And it became like, I literally had this, I was like, one more thing I need to be afraid of. Like, I was like,
Add that to the list.
Add it to the list.
Like,
There's
I'm
a
not
lot.
anxiety ridden already.
Jesus. Truly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So the theater that this happened at, it's the same theater that both things, or is it the college theater and then the community theater?
So the community theater was when I was 9 years old. That was a totally different theater.
Okay, so
Yeah,
then
yeah.
this is the one that you had happen.
Yeah, that was like, yeah, the community theater with that like back locker room, whatever. I was like, I think it just reminded me at the time. You remember that show on Nickelodeon, like Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yes.
It reminded me of like I can't remember. There was like one episode where like they're like a kid drowned in a pool or whatever. It was like some pool
and
thing.
it like looked like that.
And it looked exactly like that. So I don't know if it was like my mind playing tricks on me, but like when I was 9 years old, like I had to pee so bad. One time I peed on stage.
She's like, I'm not going to the bathroom.
No, literally, I was so petrified of that locker room that I peed on stage during Once Upon a Mattress. The fact that
that's such a perfect show to do it on.
But also, why is a 7-year-old wench number 2 in Once Upon a Mattress?
That's a whole nother bag of tricks. She's also peeing on the mattress, which is
I was in the back. It was the end of Act 1.
That is.
And I was dancing. I was doing the choreography, and the pee just came right down.
But like, we could maybe blame that on like you were so scared. You just didn't want to go potty by yourself.
I didn't want to go potty I was 7 years old. I didn't want to go potty.
A valid fear. I actually this kind of similar. I was scared of. There was a bathrooms at our church actually growing up that were like people claimed were haunted.
A bathroom?
You know, I don't know. Maybe it's because they already know we're scared in there, which is weird. Because like, why do we need to be scared going to the bathroom? But like, there was bathrooms at church that notoriously, it was actually here in Burbank, people would talk about the bathrooms being haunted. Burbank. People would talk about the bathrooms being haunted at this church. And I remember like they talk about this like hand, like this green hand. And I was like, this is terrifying.
A green
hand that you would see in the bathroom. So like, I don't know.
I was scared for a while that like rats were going to come out of the toilet and like bite me in the butt.
I'd rather a rat than a green hand.
I mean, truly, I don't need a hand pediddling me. Like, especially a green haunted hand.
A green haunted hand. Oh my gosh.
I know. And
so
I think that's not even the scariest one.
So after you heard the giggle and you booked it.
And my life flashed before my eyes.
Was there anything else? Did anybody else at that theater have anything happen that you like remember hearing?
No, people were like, it wasn't, no one ever told me their stories. They were just like, oh no, I never go in. I'm like, I never like to be in that theater alone. Like it was like this unknown thing. And I was like, oh, thanks guys for telling me that you're.
So they were all scared. They just didn't.
Yeah. I was like, am I being hazed? Like, what is this? And
probably.
They were probably. But when I tell you, like, again, it was this, like, there's a temperature change.
Yeah.
And then it was a distance. Like I heard it from down the hall. Like, it was the giggle you would have heard, like you would have seen the person. Like they weren't up here, but like it would be a giggle like where that base is. That's how far they get. Like that's what I mean.
So okay, for you listening, about 10 feet.
I'm gonna say maybe longer. I'm gonna say 2.5 really big basketball players.
That is like one basketball player laying down right here.
Okay. So I'm gonna say 2.5 basketball players. Then it's longer than this.
So that's like still close enough that like it's not
like
right in your ear.
15 feet.
15 feet. So it's like not right in your ear, but it's close enough that they're standing in your space.
Correct.
Ugh.
And it's a narrow hall. It's like a hallway.
You could distinctly tell it was a female child, which is like worse than anything.
I was like, oh, it's not a man trying to murder me. It's a ghost of a child trapped in this theater, giggling, having fun. And literally, okay. Oh my God, I can't remember remembering this detail. So the the janitor, like the manager at the theater, whatever. Because I told him about it the next night. I was like, hey, I was there like a kid here, or whatever, and he was like, oh no, there's like a ghost here, and she kind of
it's a ghost.
No, he very matter-of-factly was like, oh no, there's like a ghost here. That's why we keep the light on. Like she just kind of messes around with people from time to time, like very nonchalant. And I was like, okay.
That's not what you wanted to hear.
No. And he also was like a very weird old man. So like the less interaction I had with him, the better off I was as a person. Like he made me very uncomfortable, and he was like, "Tell me more," and I was like, "No, no." Like I was just hearing things. Maybe it was like like my
crazy.
yeah. I'm like maybe it was my phone, maybe it was my this, like maybe I was hearing things. Who knows? But no, he basically very matter of fact was like, "No, there's a ghost that's in this theater, and they like play tricks on people from time to time." Like we were talking about the weather. Like I was like, "Huh."
Thank you. Thank you for the validation. But I guess, here's the thing. When you have an experience and somebody can validate it for you in the
Sure.
moment, rather than be like, that, nope, we've never had anything like that happen. Like, don't make me feel crazy. Like, at least
Yeah.
you're validating my story and you're giving me a sense of, okay,
Yeah.
this did happen.
Would have loved a heads up, like,
Hey, by the way, this
hey,
place is
by the way,
haunted.
like, also, like, hey, by the way, maybe don't hang out here alone. Like, hey, by the way, make sure you leave in pairs.
Yeah,
like,
leave with your friends.
Have a buddy system. Like, I would have, yes, I 100% agree with you. And, like, I would have loved to maybe have a buddy. Like, you know what I mean?
Keep a buddy nearby.
Keep a buddy.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I've decided
Yes.
because her two stories.
I know.
Her three stories that were actually more like
Vignettes.
3. Well, no,
I know. There's
No,
4.
'cause
I've given
there
you
was-
like 4.5
yeah,
now.
I was gonna say. You also mentioned the the whole
Talking to dead people.
talking to dead people thing when you were a kid. So I've decided that we are coming back, guys. We're doing a second part episode to hear the Switzerland prison hotel episode, because I feel
Oh my
like
God.
if we could talk about theater ghosts and your museum trip that you said was no big deal for 30 minutes, then we could talk about this Switzerland most terrifying ghost story.
In the most beautiful city in the world, I can't even. I
Which also, like, I had to Google.
Lucerne.
Yeah, I thought that the brand was named after it. It's not.
That is my new favorite fact about you.
It's not. It's not. I thought Lucerne, like
Listen,
the dairy.
if you
but it makes
can
sense.
Google Lucerne dairy and I can look at the Equinox towels and be like, eucalyptus and Vicks are the same.
Then we are the same
Did you ever
person.
know that you're my hero?
Thank you so much for joining me on this episode.
Oh my God, thank you. I can't wait to scare you with this next story. I'm probably going to have nightmares about it.
I can't wait. And everybody, if you have stories, submit them to myfriendsarehaunted@gmail.com and join us, because we're coming back like right now to film another episode.
Spoiler alert, Under the Tuscan Sun is involved.
Okay. So pretty much tune in to the second part episode with Stacy here to hear about haunted hotels and Under the Tuscan Sun.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.